Before sunrise, the Hartwell executive hangar was already awake, steel echoing with the polished footsteps of people who believed the world bent for them. Ryan Mitchell, hair still damp from an early shift, moved quietly along the marble corridor, a janitor swallowed by a place built for the powerful. His uniform was worn, but the posture beneath it hinted at discipline no broom could teach. Victoria Ashford rounded the corner, coffee in hand, eyes sharp with entitlement. "You missed a spot," she said. Then the cup slipped, splashing across his chest. "Clean it. And try not to look so defeated." Ryan steadied his breath, but his hands curled. Not from pain, from something awakening. Then Elena Hartwell stepped out of her glass office, gaze cold. "If you want people to respect you, Mitchell, stop acting like a ghost," she said. "Or better, fly my jet. Prove you're not just a mop with shoes." For the first time Ryan met her eyes. "Are you sure you want to know what I can do?" The hangar stilled. None of them were ready for the answer. If this moment pulls you in, like the video and subscribe to Canada's Heartfelt Tales for more gripping stories. The moment Ryan stepped away from the coffee-stained corridor, the hangar settled into a tense quiet, the kind that follows something everyone knows was wrong but is afraid to name. The echo of Victoria's laughter still hung in the metal rafters. She strutted across the polished floor, heels chopping like tiny hammers of entitlement. To her, the incident was already forgotten. To Ryan it carved a line in the concrete. He entered the equipment bay, wiping his uniform with slow, measured movements. Tom Rivera, the senior mechanic, leaned against the tool cabinet, arms folded. "She crossed a line today," Tom said. Ryan didn't answer. His silence said everything. "You don't deserve that," Tom added. "I'm fine." "No, son. You're used to it. That's different." Ryan lowered his gaze. He had learned long ago that reacting made things worse. Anger only fed people like Victoria. But something inside him, something old, steady, disciplined, shifted from stillness to readiness. The sound of Elena Hartwell's heels approached from the main hall. She wasn't alone this time. The assistants trailed behind her like nervous shadows. "Mitchell," she called sharply. "With me." Tom's brow lifted in quiet warning, but Ryan walked toward her. She waited near the glass railing overlooking the hangar floor, arms crossed, posture crisp and weapon-like. "You embarrassed my staff this morning," she said. Ryan blinked. "I didn't say a word. That's the problem. You stood there silently like a martyr. Victoria is now hysterical, and the board can't afford internal conflicts." Ryan stared at her, the chill rising in his chest. "With respect, ma'am," she threw coffee on me. Elena tilted her head with irritation. "And you could have stepped back, or spoken up, or handled it professionally." For the first time, Ryan let the truth slip through his calm surface. Being humiliated professionally is still humiliation. Her eyes flickered. The words had struck something, pride, guilt, memory, but she shut it down quickly. "I don't run a charity. I run an aviation empire. If you want to survive here, stop being so fragile." He almost laughed. Fragile. The world had no idea how much weight he carried or how long he had carried it alone. But before he could respond, a loud metallic clatter echoed from the far wing. A mechanic ran across the floor, shouting for assistance. Sparks flew from under the nose of the Gulfstream G800, Elena's flagship jet. A maintenance cart had rolled into the fuselage, scraping deep into the paint. A fire warning light blinked against the wall. Elena froze. "Who left that brake unsecured?" she demanded. Ryan scanned the area, every instinct sharp, calculating. Then he saw it. Victoria's badge still clipped to the unattended cart. She had stormed off earlier without locking it in place. A few crew members exchanged looks. They knew. Everyone knew. But no one dare speak. Victoria emerged moments later, face wrapped in manufactured innocence. "What happened?" she asked softly. Ryan watched Elena's jaw tighten. He waited for justice, for accountability, for even a hint of fairness. But Elena inhaled deeply, steadied her voice and said, "Mitchell, clean up the accident. And try not to make things worse today." Something snapped inside him. Not loud, not violent, but decisive. Tom stepped closer, eyes blazing. "Ma'am, with respect." Elena lifted a hand. "Not another word." Victoria walked past them, smirking triumphantly. The humiliation landed harder than the spilled coffee ever had. Still, Ryan nodded once, steady as iron, and went to work. As Ryan assessed the damage, he noticed more than a scrape. The impact had misaligned part of the hydraulic housing. If unnoticed, it could lead to catastrophic failure during flight. He motioned for Tom. "This isn't minor," Ryan whispered. Tom glowered. "And if we report it, they'll bury it. They always do." Ryan straightened. The old version of himself, disciplined, principled, unshakable, rose from the ashes of years spent unnoticed. Elena returned with a clipboard. "How long to repair?" she asked, barely glancing at him. Ryan held her gaze. "It shouldn't fly today." "It needs to," she snapped. "It can't," he replied quietly but firmly. A flicker of irritation flared into anger. "You don't give orders." "I do." He didn't raise his voice. "If you push that jet into the air without opening the housing, you'll be giving orders from a hospital bed, or worse." A silence thickened between them. For the first time, fear, not annoyance, crossed Elena's face. Tom backed him up with a solemn nod. Elena swallowed. "You're certain?" "Yes." She exhaled sharply and motioned to her assistant. "Ground the jet. Full inspection. Now." Tom clapped Ryan on the shoulder once they walked away. "Good man," he murmured. "You just saved her life. Don't expect a thank you." But Ryan didn't want one. What he wanted, what he had denied himself for years, was a purpose worthy of the skills he'd hidden. And that purpose appeared sooner than he expected. That evening, as Ryan checked the last of the tools, he heard hurried footsteps. It was Elena, alone this time, no assistants guarding her edges. Her expression was different, softer maybe, uncertain. "Mitchell," she said quietly. "Walk with me." They circled the quiet hangar, now lit by the dim amber glow of closing time. She broke the silence first. "You were right today. I don't say that often." Ryan nodded but said nothing. "Why didn't you tell me sooner that you know aircraft like that?" "You didn't ask." "You're a janitor." "I'm an employee," he corrected. "My job doesn't erase what I know." She stopped walking. Her eyes searched his face, not for defiance, but for truth. "Where did you learn to see what others miss?" Ryan hesitated. This was the moment he had avoided for years. A part of him wanted to stay hidden. But another part, the part waking inside him, refused. "I used to fly," he said simply. Elena's breath caught. "Commercial." "No, then what?" He met her eyes. "Military." Before she could ask more, the alarm lights suddenly flashed red. A piercing siren echoed across the hangar. Elena spun toward the control booth. "What now?" A frantic security officer rushed forward. "Ma'am, it's the G800 hydraulic fluid leaking heavily." It wasn't contained. Elena stiffened. "But we grounded it." "Yes, ma'am, but someone removed the lockout tag." Ryan and Tom exchanged a glance. Only one person would be foolish and vindictive enough to do that. Victoria. They sprinted toward the jet. The leak spread across the floor like a dark river, reflecting the emergency lights. If the pressure built too quickly, it could trigger a secondary system rupture, powerful enough to ignite. "Everyone out," Ryan commanded before he even realized he'd spoken. People moved. Instantly. Not because he yelled, but because his voice sounded like someone who knew what danger was. Inside the cockpit, a shadow moved. Victoria. She was frantically trying to restart the aircraft computer, likely hoping to fix the situation before anyone realized she caused it. Panic twisted her features. "Victoria, stop!" Elena shouted. But she didn't. She kept clicking, breathing hard, muttering excuses even before they were needed. Ryan climbed into the cockpit. "Get out," he said. She shook her head wildly. "If they think this is my fault, I'll be fired. Elena will destroy me." "You did this," Ryan said, not accusing, just stating a fact she didn't want to face. Her trembling hand hovered over the console. I can make it right." "No," he said firmly. "You can't." Her finger slipped, pressing a switch that should never be pressed during a hydraulic failure. A spark cracked beneath the instrument panel. Smoke curled upward. Ryan grabbed her wrist and pulled her from the seat. "We're done here," he said. She kicked, screaming. "You're just a janitor. You can't touch me." But he dragged her out, handed her off to security, and rushed back inside to kill the ignition manually before the entire aircraft went up. Moments later, as they exited, the pressure valve ruptured with a thunderous pop. The jet shuddered violently, alarms howling. But Ryan had cut the power in time. The danger passed. Everyone stared at him, astonished, breathless. Elena approached slowly. "You saved us." "No," Ryan replied. "I did my job." But Victoria's job was finished. Security escorted her out the main gate while she screamed threats no one cared to hear. Elena didn't defend her, didn't intervene, didn't hesitate. "Effective immediately," Elena announced to the staff. "Victoria Ashford is terminated and banned from all Heartwell properties for compromising safety and endangering lives." A wave of quiet satisfaction rolled through the hangar. Justice, swift, undeniable, deserved. Ryan turned away, ready to gather his things, but Elena stepped into his path. "Mitchell," she said softly, "you don't belong behind a mop." He looked at her calmly. "And where do I belong, ma'am?" She gestured toward the grounded jet, its sleek frame, its wounded pride, its need for someone who understood flight the way others understood breathing. "You belong up there," she whispered. "And tomorrow, I want to know why you ever left the sky." But that conversation would have to wait. Because tonight, the world had finally seen what Ryan Mitchell truly was. Not invisible. Not fragile. Not a janitor who got lucky. A man whose quiet strength tore the mask off a bully and changed everything. And tomorrow, the reckoning for what Victoria tried to destroy would only grow louder. When the hangar finally calmed, Ryan stepped outside, letting the night air wash away the chaos of the day. The building behind him still hummed with low conversation. People who, for the first time, spoke his name with respect instead of dismissal. He didn't seek praise, but something inside him shifted. He no longer carried his strength in silence. He no longer had to shrink to survive. Elena joined him near the edge of the tarmac, the runway lights stretching out like a path neither of them had walked yet. "You didn't just prevent a disaster," she said softly. "You reminded me what leadership should look like." Ryan didn't answer right away. Instead, he watched a distant jet climb into the sky, its lights tracing a slow arc over the city. For years, that sight felt like a reminder of everything he'd lost. Tonight it felt like a promise. "Maybe it's time I stop hiding," he finally said. Elena nodded. "Then let's see where that takes you." As the aircraft disappeared into the clouds, the reflection of its glow lingered in Ryan's eyes. Steady, unwavering, ready. Thank you for watching this story. If it moved you, please like, share, and help Canada's Heartfelt Tales continue growing by subscribing to the channel. Your support means everything.